Okay, hello everyone. Give me 1 second here. Okay, I think I'm live. And just so you know, I'm sorry about the thumbnail photo. That is, I tried to upload a proper photo, but it doesn't work. Somehow it doesn't really work and it's super annoying. And just so you know, Marco is right here. Say hello, Marco. Say hello. I hope everyone is doing well this weekend because it's a beautiful, beautiful weekend here in Ontario. It's nice and sunny. So if you are on this live, please comment on the chat and say hi, just so I know that someone is there. Now, so it has been a lot going on this past month. So, um, first of all, let me just say that for this live, I actually scheduled it for the 15th, and then I realized that I don't have the phone holder. I lost the phone holder, so now I have to hold the phone like this. Hi, Efra. I know it's been for a while. So I have to hold the phone like this with my hand without a tripod or the phone holder. Now, so after I thought that I had it, and then after I scheduled the live, I realized that I lost it. So that's why I have to order it ASAP on Amazon. So I had to reschedule the live today. So the delivery has been the delivery is supposed today, and they actually deliver it. But the problem is this is where the pandemic comes in. So the store where they're supposed to deliver it is closed, and it's not updated on Amazon. It's not updated anywhere. They open only 2 hours a day for the whole week. Um, and so, but on Amazon, they said it is open on Sunday until 6 p.m. So they couldn't deliver it. So when I got there, I'm like, I don't have the phone holder to do the lives today, and I was like, I cannot possibly reschedule it in the last minute. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this live like this. So my phone may be a little bit shaky because I have to hold it with my hand. So please forgive me for that. Hi, Craig. Yeah, I went to Kingston and I stayed there for a little while before I go here to Toronto. So yeah, um, so please excuse me if my phone is shaking, and because it's really uncomfortable to have to hold it with my hand like this. But this issues has been, but problems like this has been like reoccurring for me for the past month, like little things like this. When I just restarting my van life is like a lot of issues started to happen. So first of all, I had a leak on my water tank, and I couldn't find anyone to fix it in Montreal. So I decided to go to Ontario because that's where I was able to find someone to fix it. So I got to Ontario. Well, okay, the reason I wanted to go to Ontario to Toronto was because I needed to do some personal healing. And guess what happened when I just crossed the border? So they closed the border. So you cannot go across the province now. You cannot travel across the province now. So they closed it just literally the day I got into Ontario. So now I cannot even like go back to Montreal, even if I want to travel in Quebec. Um, so I came here and I got to fix my water tank, and I got to do what I wanted to do for the energy healing and some other things. Only for part of it, like the other half, I didn't get to do because of this pandemic, and now I cannot get out of Ontario. Now I cannot get out of Ontario, so I have to stay here temporarily. And not just that, so that's the second issue after getting back to van life. Then I had to go I have to go change my tires. And guess what happened after I changed my tire? So I went to the place, a place in Ontario. Let me show you what happened here. So I got to change my two front tires, right? So you see on this side it's missing the rim here. Um, Not the rim, but the rim cover. And this size is the correct size. So I got the new tires, but the guy who worked on the tires for me, he didn't know how to put the rim cover back on properly. And so when I drove it, it fell off somewhere. And because it's such an old vehicle, so they couldn't find another part to replace it. And I was like, what the heck? Like, I have been driven this van for like 3 years and go across the country, and I have been changing my tires like along the way, but I haven't ever met a mechanic that doesn't know how to put the rim cover. Doesn't know how to put the rim cover. And it's basically just like he literally just pop it on, and so he's supposed to lock it, but he just pop it in and he didn't lock it. So and I was like, what the heck? That now I can't find, they can't find it anywhere, just to replace that part. So I just have to drive it like this. And so there has been a lot of these little curveballs that are like throwing at me, and these are just like some of the small issues. On top of that, there's some other big emotional issues that I have to deal with. So the pandemic has been a lot tougher for me this year, and it just got me feeling like, oh, I feel like I'm completely losing all my passions, like my enthusiasm for traveling. And I'm like, oh, I don't know whether I should travel with like so many things going on. And I have been exploring Ontario. Well, I did see a lot of places in Ontario last year, so I'm like, I don't know if I want to stay here and explore Ontario again. Because, hi Derek. Hey, yes, I'm back. Sorry, I've been away for so long because there was so many things going on this past month. A lot of things that I have to do with. So I couldn't really focus on social media, and I really have to take a break. Hi, James. I really, really have to take a break. And that's was the reason why I come to Ontario, just so I can do the inner work in energy healing, which I could only do half of it, and the other half I can't do because of the pandemic. And this is what I want to talk to you all about today. So hold on. I'm actually at the park right now, and it's quite nice. You know, I'm always staying at the park. Maybe I will walk with you to the park just to show you how it is, and then we can talk over there. So, and everything is pretty much the same in the vein. Let me show you. Nothing has. Luckily that everything is still the same in the van, and here is Marco. Nothing is damaged. Everything still works fine, except for the leak in my water tank. But other than that, everything is still fine. Let me put my glasses on, and maybe we can go and for a walk at the park. And because it is nicer over there as well. Come on, Marco. If everyone in Ontario can come and say hi to me. This is actually quite a nice park here with a little lake, a tiny little lake. But this is as much nature as I can get these days. Because if I go so far outside of Ontario, so here is another problem. Okay, so that's just one of the curveballs. Well, I just show you. I just talked you to some of the curveballs. So here are another issues in Ontario when I got here, because literally the day I got here, everything shut down, everything closed down. So there's no showers. And when I repacked everything from, yes, it's pretty nice here. So when I repack everything from Montreal back to my van, I lost one of the bucket. So I cannot really shower. I cannot do this sponge bath in my van anymore. And it was cold. It was actually quite cold for the last few weeks, and it just got a bit warmer the last 2 or 3 days. So I couldn't do any sponge bath, and there's no showers anywhere except for only 2 places here around Toronto, a little bit outside of Toronto. So basically I have to stay close by to these places. It's wet, and well, yeah, it's one of the nice park here. I wanted to go to the waterfront today, but then I didn't have time, so I decided to just stop by here. And so yeah, there's only 2 places in this whole area that I can actually go get a shower. So yeah, I cannot travel so far out of these places. Maybe I'm gonna find a way, see whether I can do my sponge bath. Oh, you're in the UK, so I cannot do my sponge bath at the moment, but hopefully when it gets a little bit warmer, then maybe I can still do it. So many things going on these days, and I'm guessing that a lot of people in Ontario, in this area, kind of experience somewhat similar issues like what I experienced, because who really know that even like just ordering something online on Amazon could cause so many issues, because nothing is really updated, like nothing is really working even with Amazon. And you see that, and I actually have a Prime membership, so even something so unexpected like this happened really kind of caused a lot of frustration. It doesn't matter like how well I can plan everything, but still all of these unexpected things can still happen. And this is where I want to talk about how to deal with like uncertainty, like when we get like so frustrated with life like this, because COVID is still there, and it's still gonna, I don't know if you can see me, is it better? Because COVID is still gonna be there, and things like this is still gonna happen. So how are we gonna be able to deal with this? Because like last year, can you still see me well? Let me know if you can still see me well. You have to go in the shade. So we're just sitting on the grass right now. and make sure you go grounding. Grounding every single day is very good for you. So grounding is basically just here like this. You just basically go on the grass and go barefoot on the grass and just connect, put your feet on the ground and just really have your and just sit and ground yourself. It's really helped to recenter you. It's really helped to recenter you and change your mood. That's the reason why I go out in nature as much as I can, just so I can ground myself. And it's warm enough now to walk barefoot on the ground. It's very healing, and there's a scientific fact for that, so it's not superstition. So go do it. It's really good for you. Anyhow, I wanted to talk about how to deal with the uncertainty during the pandemic these days, because this year it has impacted me a lot harder than it was for me last year. And now I feel like I'm in the place where I don't know where I'm gonna go or what I'm gonna do, or even like who do I want to who do I want to be, because I have started so many projects, I have started so many things, and then suddenly everything is like have to be put in a pause because I don't know what's gonna happen next. I don't know what I'm gonna do next, basically. So there's a lot of uncertainty like that, and it causes a lot of frustration. And the reason I want to talk about this topic, because I'm guessing a lot of people are dealing with it just like I do, especially in Canada in general, because it looks like everywhere is in lockdown, shut down, and there are just so many uncertain issues that happen. But regardless, somehow I still see a lot of people in Ontario hanging outside the park, even though we do have the stay-at-home order, but still a lot of people are going out because everyone getting frustrated. Right? You need to be going out and have some fresh air. And actually being outside is helping you to improve your mood as well. So take a deep breath, right, and look at the issues that we are dealing with, because like we have to be in the present before we can actually acknowledge what the problems are and how to actually deal with them. And when I'm talking about, like I'm talking not just because I want to share advice, but more like things that I have done lately to deal with the circumstance, basically. And it feels like I have to integrate everything that I know, that I have learned from the past in order to pass through this challenge. So I'm looking at everything that happened to me is basically a challenge. So if you change the perspective and look at things in a more objective way instead of subjective way, and so you can ask like instead of why it happens to me, but more like what does it require me to grow in order to overcome these issues. So it's kind of like when you go to the gym and you have to have weights, right? Especially for guys, even for girls as well. Like when you go to the gyms, you're gonna need like obstacles, and you're gonna need weight and things like that in order, like resistance. You're gonna need resistance in order to train your strength. And so I feel like a lot of things that happens, obstacles that happens to me, is basically the resistance that pushing me to grow. Because last year, like when the pandemic hit last year, I was like, oh, I was still happy. I didn't feel like there any obstacle, and I was still like traveling around and like having all my freedom. This year, it's not like that at all, and it's feel like there's so many restriction everywhere, every corner that I go, and I'm like, I can't do anything. Neither I have the passion to travel right now. So there's a lot of resistance in the air. That's the energy that I'm feeling. And when I look at things in a different perspective, I realize that it has, like, this resistance has to be there because it pushes me to grow. So instead of stay in that phase of being frustrated, asking myself, like, what can I do? What can I do right now in order to grow? Like, what is it that I know, what knowledge that I know in order to help me get out of here? Um, make a road trip to Texas. I know it seems like everything opened in the US. Canada is so slow. Um, so so yes, I asked myself, what is it that I need to do right now to first of all rebalance myself? Because I know that when I get frustrated because of all these things that happen, when I tip myself off to the other side of the scale and I'm not being centered, I'm gonna be pulled into that direction, and basically gonna go down to the rabbit hole and not able to solve any issues, any problems for me, and think it's just gonna getting worse and worse. And so at this time, I think that that's what we all need to do to recenter ourselves and to rebalance ourselves. Like, how can we come to a state of balance? Because I do believe that joy and peace can only come from within. Like, I think that it was Buddha that said this. If you don't have you cannot be angry if you don't have any anger within you. So you cannot be frustrated because of all of this if you don't have frustration in you already. So it doesn't matter like what curveballs or anything that throw at you. You can still stay centered and balanced, and that's what Stoicism is all about. That's what esoteric is all about. That's what I have been learning and practicing. And so when I'm restarting this van life, and when a lot of things, like a lot of bad things or like frustrating things that happen to me, it's really teach me, like, okay, what can I do in order to grow, right? What, like, I have to pretty much integrate everything that I learned in the past about my self growth in order to get myself out of this stage. So that is basically just another challenge that I have to look into before getting myself back together. So lately I've done a lot of meditation just so that I can stay in the center and also learn something new. Because I think that when we are in a place of being uncertain, that means we don't know, and that's the feelings that I've been that I've been sensing these days that I don't know, because there's so many things that can happen in either way. And I think a lot of people are feeling like this as well with the pandemic, when the quarantines just keep changing and we don't know when everything's gonna open. Like, you cannot really plan anything. um, you cannot really plan anything, so you don't know what to do, and there's a lot of things that we don't know, and that's where the uncertain feelings come from. So another things that I do is by learning new things, new knowledge, um, in order to help me see things different way, to see different perspective, to basically find my passion back, because I know that is in there, and what can I do right now to feel passionate and to feel enthusiasm, because that's part of the work that I do. And otherwise I'm like, I don't feel passion, like I don't feel productive, I can't do anything and I can't create anything because I'm not creative if I keep getting stuck on this frustration. And so I'm trying to learn some new things by reading books or watching educative programs. And I do really recommend Gaia. It's instead of Netflix. So I think Netflix is for entertaining, but Gaia is for education. So learn new things can really help to improve knowledge, wisdom, so we can have different perspective to deal with all of these obstacles differently. It's basically learning new skills, new knowledge in order to it's like when, like I said, if you go to the gym, you're gonna need to eventually up level yourself so you can deal with more obstacles. Getting back to photography, so like I said, I don't even have the passion to travel, which is like my biggest passion, right? And then photography, I don't feel inspired lately to do anything. And I know that I feel like I've been getting stuck, and the energy that I've been feeling is like pretty heavy, and it's pretty dark. It's like it weighs me down, and that's why I'm doing the energy healing. But I realize that even if I go and I go do all these healings, I still have to do the work myself, because otherwise I'm just gonna depend on other people to do it for me. And honestly, it doesn't work as well as me doing the work myself. It's basically, it has to be cooperative. I cannot just, it's like when you go to a doctor and they prescribe something to you and they suggest you have to like do this and that at home in order to get you improved. But like, you go to the doctor and then you go home and you do nothing, so you're not gonna improve. You're not gonna solve any issues. So so that's the part that I have to be dealing with, like that's why I'm asking myself like what I can do right now to get back to that place of joy and peace, and find my passion again, so I can be more creative, so I can produce content, right? Because otherwise I can't do anything. That's why I'm feeling stuck, and I'm sharing this because I'm guessing that a lot of people, especially in Canada, are dealing with similar circumstances as well, being in the place where you feel uncertain. And so what we can do, right? So these are the things that I have been doing lately: grounding, going to the park, getting as much nature as I can, because there's nothing more healing than nature. And yes, exercise also help as well, but since I'm living in a van, there's limited places for me to go shower, so that means I can only exercise at a certain time, at a certain day. So it's like I said, there restriction everywhere, and meditation helps so much, just to keep your mind, um, just to keep your mind be at peace, and really changing the perspective and understand that all of these challenges really just just basically the resistance and the obstacle to help you to grow, instead of blaming everything that, or it happens to me, like suddenly everything happens to me. Well, I do believe that everything happens for you in order to help you grow regardless, and is if there is the good, there's also the bad. But the bad thing doesn't mean really bad. The bad things just basically happen in order to help you see things differently and understand life differently and push you to grow. Marco! Sorry, Marco running away. This is he's, he's, he's this is this is what fun about doing life at the park. Marco is like he's going chasing after the kids because looks like they've been having fun over there. So that is what I want to share with you, on this live today, because hopefully that you can get to learn something from exercise after chase. Yeah, I do walk Marco quite a bit, as much as I can, 2-3 times a day, because we need to go outside as much as we can, right? So yeah, so I just want to share with you my perspective. Hi, Van Life Biker. I just want to share with you my perspective and things that I'm dealing with today, these days, and how I am dealing with them. I really think that we need to, as much as it's like life is on ups and downs. A lot of time, like, yes, we always have to go back and find that ups, and a lot of time it's also it's like going up and down in the mountains, right? In the hills, and the down is not really, or the apps is not really bad, but it's just there to help us to grow. And so I really think that if we all can see things in a different perspective, if we all can see things, in a way that is, it challenges us to grow, instead of just blaming, the pandemic and everything, the society and the government. Like, we would have so much more peace in order to get out of this pandemic if everyone just focused on going inside to take these opportunities to grow, to be different, and to come out of it like stronger, and to make things, differently after the pandemic. And I think we would be able to get out of the pandemic, more productively and faster as well, instead of just like keep resisting it, and pushing it, just because that's what I'm seeing a lot of people are doing, that's what a lot of people doing lately, fighting against the pandemic. So and it's like an opportunities for us to grow. It's not happening to us because like pushing us, like trying to trying to suppress us. But if we look at everything in different perspective, like in high perspective, and I think that it would be so much more helpful for us and for the planet and for everyone. And so just go inside, to dig deep down, like what else out there that we need to grow, what, like how can I be differently. And so and so I hope that I'm sharing on these tips, like what, I'm not saying that I have come out to the other side, that I have come to my peace, that I have like get everything together, but everything is really the work in progress. And that's the reason why I started this channel. I started doing YouTube video to share on the challenges that I have been doing. That was one of the first videos that I did, and that's the main purpose of this whole channel and this whole journey through van life, because it's not just about the outer journey, but it's also about the inner journey. And that is something that I care so much more deeply, that I care so much more than just the outer travel, like exploring places. And so now that I cannot go travel as much as I used to, now I have to go. I think it's the time for me to go like deep inside, like to travel inside and see what else is out there, why all these things are happening to me. So that is my perspective. That's what I'm sharing. Hopefully that it is helpful for you if you're dealing a lot of frustration because of the pandemic like me. Some of these things may be helpful for you. Again, do meditation, grounding, do your inner work, learning something new, so that we can all come out of it to be a better person. So that's all I want to share with you today, and let's hope that we can all get back soon to the normal life, that I can travel again. I really want to go to Nova Scotia, but again, I don't know what's gonna happen because now I cannot cross the province. I cannot even go back to BC. I don't think I can go back to BC either. So now I have to get stuck in Ontario. So let's make the best of Ontario and see what will come out of it. So I hope everyone have a great weekend. The rest of your Sunday or Monday, wherever you are. Thank you, James. Hopefully things will get better too. And thank you so much to all of you joining my life today. And this pandemic is, I think the pandemic is really silly. So the other day, let me just share you a quick story before I go. My battery is also running low. So the other day, Marco was getting pretty anxious because of the lawn, what is it, the lawn mower. Because of the noise, he didn't like the noise, so he get very anxious about it. And I was just like, but there's nothing really scary, like it's outside, it doesn't really go inside like to hurt him, you know, like how dog gets pretty anxious because of the fireworks. So Marco doesn't get anxious because of the fireworks, but he gets anxious because of the lawnmower. So so I feel like the whole time this is like us, this is like the whole world dealing with the pandemic right now. It's the pandemic is like the firework or the lawnmower, and we are like Marco getting anxious. We're just getting anxious for nothing, because I'm not saying that it's not dangerous, but I think that we have making it a lot more dramatic than what it's supposed to be. So when we see things, it's a different perspective. Like when I see it in this in the high perspective that Marco doesn't see. Like there's really nothing to be afraid of, right? So anyhow, that's just a little short story that I want to share with you, and that's how I see the world is dealing with the pandemic right now, and that's just how us dealing with everything right now. So just keep getting in center and balance, and just keep moving on, and just keep having hope. Just keep having hope that everything will be okay. If you know that if you know that everything will be okay, if you know that there will be a better future, then then it would just really help you to be in center, because the future is up to you in this moment present, what you are going to create out of it. So if you know that everything is gonna be okay, then in this present is going to be okay as well. So have a good day, everyone. Marco. Okay, Marco is barking at someone else, but okay, I gotta go. um, Thank you so much for joining me this live, and I'll see you again soon. Bye, everyone.